can you make your writing less blah? That's the topic I'm addressing today in The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant, the publication coach. I have a question from Susan Chaplin, a writer based in Troy, Michigan. Here's what she's asked by email. In the past, when I had a poignant moment that I wanted to build a nonfiction chapter or story around, I would do so editing as I wrote. I always knew before I started what the emotional content was going to be. The way I'm working now, I have a topic and I know there are several different stories to be told that fall under that topic, but I don't tend to have a single compelling feeling that ties all the stories together. As a result, my writing is coming out rather blah. How can I put more life back into my writing? Thanks for the question, Susan. It's really challenging to break the habit of editing while you write. I know because I had to do it myself about 15 years ago, and I found it extraordinarily difficult. But it really paid off. It allowed me to double my writing speed. And more important, it helped me to enjoy the act of writing, something I never thought I'd be able to say. I think you're blaming your current challenge on the wrong thing. The problem isn't that you're not editing while you write. The real issue is that you're not adequately preparing to write. You and I exchanged emails about this issue, and I think your challenge relates to mind mapping and other steps you can take when preparing to write. For anyone who's unfamiliar with mind mapping, check out the show notes below for a link to my many blog posts and videos on the subject. Susan, in looking at your mind maps, I could see the questions you asked yourself were totally lacking in emotional content. I want to protect your confidentiality, so let me rephrase one of your questions. Let's say you were mind mapping about someone named Michael. Your original question was something like, how did Michael, a name I've made up, become interested in XYZ Corporation? Do you see how that question is lacking in emotion? Instead, I'd try something like, what did Michael love about XYZ Corporation? Or which people connected with XYZ Corporation meant the most to Michael? If you want a mind map that's going to allow you to explore emotional issues, which are surely the most interesting issues to write about, then you need to ask yourself emotional questions. Yes, it can be challenging to figure out what these questions should be. So don't try to do this sort of thinking and planning at your desk. Instead, get out of your office and go for a walk. And take your cell phone with you so you can record some voice notes to yourself if you're worried about forgetting anything. Following my system of writing requires turning the writing process on its head. I suggest spending as much as 40% of your time preparing to write. Then, try to spend only 20% of your time actually writing. And to conclude, allow yourself another 40% of your time for editing. In many ways, writing is really the least important step of the process. Finally, let me wrap up with the words of American film critic and journalist Roger Ebert. Your intellect may be confused, but your emotions will never lie to you. Susan, there is nothing less blah than emotional content. You just need to figure out a way to identify those emotions by thinking and mind mapping. You'll be much more successful identifying emotions this way than by editing while you write. If you'd like to learn more about how to make your writing a happier and more rewarding process, check out my latest book, Your Happy First Draft. I don't sell it in bookstores or on Amazon. The only place to buy it is my website. Link below and in the show notes.